Here I'm going to tell you the 3 steps that you can take to build an unbreakable mind. And I use these to literally survive hell. I have been through all the struggles and the sufferings, and none of it broke me, because I used these secret hacks of the universe that I will now teach you. And the first one is to get over that initial fear. Most people have an initial fear that, you know what, I can't go out and try things. Because you know, what if I fail? You know, what if I make a video and it gets nothing? No, 0 views. I've done that 200 times, so don't worry, you won't die. I'm telling you, you won't die. You can make a video, get 0 views, and you won't die. Because I've done it 200 times. And here I am, still alive. And trust me, you can get over the initial fear by just doing it. And so if you want to start a business, you want to ask out that girl, whatever it is, just get over the initial fear by actually doing it. Take the action, and then, no matter the outcome, even if something horrible happens, you will realize that you survived. You did not die, and everything's kind of fine. And you know what? 2 weeks from now, no one will even remember that that situation happened. The girl said no. Who gives a shit? 2 weeks from now, even she won't remember it. And neither will you. So who cares? You start a business, you go and make a pitch. You know, one time I went and made a pitch for a business. Can I get some money? No. Total rejection. But who cares? I survived. Here I am. You see, you just have to take the first step, and then once you understand that you will not die and you will survive, even if the bad thing that you fear happens, you don't get the funding for your business, or you get rejected, or you get 0 views, and everything bad that you can imagine happens, you will still survive. And that is the first step, because now you have broke the barrier of your mind that is stopping you from taking action, because now you realize that no matter what, you will survive. And then we can move on to the next step, which is to build a story. In your head, build a story. Because it is easy to go through these failures. It is easy to go through the challenges and the hard times and the suffering and all that when you build a story in your mind that it has meaning. And I don't care what anyone says, but in actuality, there's no meaning. Don't listen to them. Listen to the voice in your head that you are gonna build, that constantly tells you that you're gonna make it and that you have some meaning in this. And so what you can do is go and say, oh, I failed 100 times. You failed 1,000 times. But it's all simply to make that story of your life so grand and so amazing that then when you finally get that success, you have a story to tell. I mean, imagine how amazing it is. You're out there, you succeeded, you got everything that you ever wanted, and alongside that, now you can go and tell the whole world how you struggled for years, if not decades. And you did what it takes. You went through the suffering. You faced the challenges. You got kicked while you were down. And you still continued. You still had that fire in your heart burning, in your soul, to force you to keep crawling forward. Even though it hurt, even though it's hard, even though it's difficult, you did it. What an amazing story. That is the story that you want to be able to tell. Because think about it. If you listen to someone who's successful and they tell you, the moment I started the business, everything went perfect, nothing went wrong, and everything's amazing, and I just succeeded. What's the point of the story? What's the point of even telling about it? Would you read a book where there is no evil bad guy, where nothing ever goes wrong? Would you watch a movie where nothing goes horribly wrong? Everything's just perfect. The movie starts. Everyone's happy, perfect, laughing, and then the movie ends. How boring. What's the point of even the movie existing if that's the movie? but that's your life. What's the point of you existing, your life being here, if there is no struggle? If there is no challenges to overcome? What's the point? And now you understand and you build that story that, you know what, all the challenges, all the struggles, all the failures, and the hundreds of losses that you're gonna have to take are simply to build a story worth telling. It is simply there to make it so that your life is worth living. And so when so many people, they're afraid to take the first L, they're like, oh no, the L is scary. But in reality, you have to build a mountain of L's. Take L after L after L. And then when you have collected 1,000 L's, you can build a mountain with it and reach the higher W, which no one else can reach. Because they were too afraid to take the L's and build the mountain, which then you can stand upon and reach higher up. And so take the L's, take the suffering, take the failures, and build that unbreakable mind. And it truly comes from experience. Let me tell you, the reason I can stand here and say that you can build an unbreakable mind which nothing can break is because I've gone through some of the suffering. I've made close to 200 videos. I think it's 213 videos in total. What do I have to show for it? Nothing. And trust me, every day it hurts to see that nothing good's happening. Every day it hurts that you go to the gym and you're not as strong as you would want to be. Every day it hurts waking up, looking at your bank account and seeing that you've lost money, not gained money. Every day. But once again, first you survive the initial thing and realize that you won't die. Then you build the story. And the third step, which is extremely important, is that you focus on things which are worth failing at. So most people, they go out and they search for what is the easiest option. What is the place where the fence is the lowest? I can get over the fence the easiest. But in reality, you should search for the position where it's worth failing at. You can go and play video games and fail 1,000 times, lose the video game 1,000 times. But what have you gained? Nothing. Because it's not worth failing at. Even if you lose 1,000 times in a video game, what have you gained? Nothing. But you lose 1,000 times making sales calls? Well, you probably learned quite a lot about, don't say that thing. The moment I said that thing, everyone always hangs up. So now I'm not going to say that thing anymore, and I'm going to actually say something else. So it's worth failing at, because even if you fail, it is a lesson where you learn something, you gain something, and instead of you seeing it as a lose, as a failure, you can see it as a lesson because you learned something. And so once you do things worth failing at, everything becomes a lesson. You lose at making videos, you get 0 views. Well, you know what? This video didn't get any clicks. Probably the title is bad. Probably the thumbnail is bad. Maybe I need to change something about that. Or you know what? The retention in this video. People click on this video, but they don't watch it. So maybe the information in the video is bad. Nobody actually cares about the actual content. The content of the video. Or maybe, you need something to keep track. Something that gets people excited, keeps them engaged so they keep watching. Like once again, you do things worth failing at and you will learn lessons instead of just face losses. Because every lesson is simply a victory. Because most people, they want the numbers. But I've said this before and I'll say it again. The outcome you want is a number, but the outcome you need is a skill. Because think about it. You want the numbers of high views and big money. But what in actuality you should want is a skill to replicate it again and again. You know, what does it help you if you win the lottery and then you go and spend the money and every day you just lose money? And eventually you run out. You won the lottery, you got the money. But then after a few years you're miserable. You're back at the same place because you can lose all the money. And you're gonna lose it because what else can you do with money except use it and lose it? The moment you buy something, you lose it. So what has gaining a number helped you? Nothing. When in actuality you need is a skill to make money more and more, because then when you spend it, you can earn it back. And so remember, do things worth failing at. Get over the initial fear and build a story in your head about how all of the struggle, all the failures will add up and simply build a great story that eventually you will tell. One day you will tell the story about how you failed 1,000 times, but it didn't matter because you had the unbreakable mind that kept you going, and that is how you went through literal hell, survived, went on the other side, and became one of the greatest humans to ever exist on planet Earth. And so let me leave you with the one message that I always tell. Stay disciplined, chase your dreams, and have a fantastic day. Boom!